We've got an absolutely massive amount of new content. You could say they released Doors too. Everything turned out to be so grand. And in this video, I'll tell you about all the new features that have been added. Monsters, locations, items, and a lot more. And of course, I'll give some tips for gameplay. Well then, make yourselves comfortable and get some snacks ready. And we're starting... Let's start with the most exciting part. The second floor, or as it's called here, mines. You can play them right after completing the hotel, or by creating an elevator in the main lobby of the game. You can head to the mines even if you haven't completed the hotel. It's pretty easy to join an existing elevator with your friends. But keep in mind, you won't be getting any badges this way. The first act of the game ended with us falling down in the elevator, and that's how the second one begins. And seems like the elevator shaft leads straight to hell, because during our fall, we have time to shop at the store. And since we're here, let me tell you right away about the new items. The strap light or chest flashlight has the advantage that we don't have to hold it in our hands to light our way. The bulk light, a huge flashlight that shines so brightly it lights up the entire screen. And the most overpowered one, the Band-Aid pack, a pack of bandages. By buying it, you can store all the bandages you come across in a little box and then use them to heal when needed. That's exactly what I recommend taking with you on your adventures because you'll constantly come across bandages, but the chance to heal isn't always there. Well then, we've stocked up, so let's move on to the mines themselves. The starting room greets the player, and I have to say the mines look absolutely stunning. The development and design team really outdid themselves again. In this location, the player gets familiar with the basic mechanics of the place, which involves finding fuses and activating the generator to progress further. If we enter a room and see a generator in it, that means the first thing we need to do is check how many fuses are already inserted and find the missing ones so that there are 3. They can be scattered in completely random places, in a closet, on a table, or in a locker. Are all 3 fuses in place? Great! We pull the lever and run to the steel door to open it by pressing the button. Next, we encounter an essential part of all mines in every game. No, of course, it's the little cart. Show me a game with mines that doesn't have carts. In Doors, we will need to use these carts to break through the boards blocking our way. Sometimes you'll also have to use a switch to change the direction of the cart. Since this is a mine, the developers thought it would be a great idea to add ladders and even introduced a new mechanic for climbing by pressing the E key. I think we've got a good grasp of the basic mechanics, so let's dive into the monsters. What monsters that we already know are present at this level? Of course, there's Rush, but now he can attack players from both the front and the back. Dude with his fake doors, Screech, and the disappearance of the disappearance, by the way, they don't attack the player on the stairs. So keep that in mind and don't rush back when you hear a psst. Eyes that can now teleport here. Halt, but he only appears twice. Once per game. Ambush. It can also attack the player from different sides. The figure is now also a regular enemy and appears a couple of times during the playthrough. Its mechanics haven't changed. From the old entities, we can mention these guys. Let's move on to newcomers. Height. Stop! The monster was at the hotel. It changed so much I classified it as new. In the hotel, it pushed players out for staying too long, but here we can stay indefinitely, except we must complete a heartbeat minigame. When we exit, it's unavailable until the next one. Only 1 closet blocks, so you can jump endlessly. Also, when you come out of the closet, it becomes unavailable until we go into the next one. Only 1 closet can be blocked, so you can jump endlessly from one to another. Giggles. White creepers living on the ceiling. If the player stands up or walks right underneath it, this little pest will jump right in their face and take away 40 HP. Another player can help remove this nuisance, thereby reducing the damage. That's if you react quickly. By the way, giggle means laughter in translation. It's all because this jerk is always laughing, so when you enter a room, you don't have to keep looking at the ceiling, you can just listen. If you hear laughter, it means that creature is somewhere nearby. Glumbats. At first I thought they were flies because of the characteristic sound, but it turned out to be a mix of a flying mouse and a moth. By the sound, it's just a rural thump. This creature flies in a group and really hates light, fiercely trying to turn it off at any cost, even if it means having to kill someone like a player. So if you see flies buzzing around, just cut the lights. So I think I've told you about the monsters. Now it's time for the key locations. At the 13th door, we'll encounter a chasm with 2 bridges, where we'll see a figure falling down, if you remember. In the scene, it came down from the elevator above us. Now that's what I call attention to detail. After this moment, a couple of times during the game, we'll occasionally come across a room with a figure. It can have a generator or not. You'll often come across a room with explosive gas. You can tell it apart by the red sign on the door and the thick smoke. Don't you dare activate a lighter here. It's better to ask a friend to do this. And it's also not a good idea to stay here for too long, or you'll breathe in all sorts of nasty stuff and pass out. After opening door 140, we meet good old Sick. And this is where the chase begins, of course. It's done in a very action-packed way, and it's probably one of the most memorable moments in the game. Come on, we can jump indoors, that's crazy! Besides jumping and dodging debris, we really have to stick closely to the light, because if we mess up even a little, it's an instant loss. Oh no, you really messed it up. Oh, it's just a cutscene, and the guiding light saved us. Nice one. Now, real action begins. On the cart, you need to turn towards the light and also duck if you see an obstacle. Phew, it looks like we got away. And what is this? And this is a new Sika-like monster, Gramble. We'll have to dodge it throughout the entire room 150. To be precise, it's not just a room, but a whole nest of these creatures. Here the player needs to solve a code puzzle and activate 5 terminals in turn. From A, E. The first terminal is right at the starting point, but the other 4 are pretty much anywhere since the location is just massive. You guys will have to explore the area on your own. The only thing I can do to help is provide a map that will make your life a bit easier. Oh, and one more thing. Most of the paths to the terminals go through these little tunnels, so don't miss them. The main danger in this location comes from the grumblers. It's better to avoid them and hide in rooms with doors as they can't get through there. Here's a life hack. You can blind them with the light from your flashlight and they'll move slower. After activating all the terminals and lowering the bridge, we move on. And now the rest of the game will take place in what they call the Catacombs, although it's probably more like the sewers. But first, as players, we need to take a little break and spend some of that gold we bought. Oh, Jeff's little shop is right here. He sells the same items as before, but now there are a few more new things that I haven't told you about yet. A pack of batteries. It works like a pack of band-aids, but for batteries. A laser pointer. It's somewhat of a useless thing since it doesn't light up very well, but it has a long range and can shine all the way to the other side of the room. The most overpowered thing of all is the glow sticks. They can stack up to 10 pieces. When thrown, they light up a pretty good area. It's overpowered because the grumblers don't get aggro on this stick. It's the only way to light up a room with those flying pests. You can also distract a figure by throwing the stick. That's the only way to light up a room with those flying pests. You can also distract a figure by throwing the stick. And the last use I found for them is stunning the gigglers. If a white screech is right in your way and you can't get around it, just throw something and stun it. Scissors. They're always in the little cupboard in the garden. You use them to open the grass-covered boxes, and you can also cut vines with them. Okay, let's get back to the locations. Nothing really new is coming up. You'll encounter a figure, a halt, maybe even a puzzle, and so on. When you reach 195, be ready, because you're back in the midst of the sickos. This time, the chase will take place in a sewer setting. Again, keep a close eye on where the light is going, and don't miss your jump. Alright guys, room 200, the last one, the biggest and most massive. We'll be turning valves, parkouring, and turning valves again. And so it goes until the sicko finally washes away into the sewer. The most important thing is not to slow down and quickly jump across all the debris so the little eye doesn't catch you. There will be only 3 stages of turning the valves, so be patient. Having dealt with the sicko, we can finally leave this place. We pull the generator lever and open the main door that grants us freedom. I hope this guide will be helpful to you and that it will reduce your moments of confusion. And now some will say, wait, hold on, you didn't review the update for the first floor. I agree, there are quite a few changes in the hotel, from cosmetic ones to balance changes. Who even needs it now? Do you really have to have a lighter to light a candle? Damn, the developers! So, make sure to leave a ton of likes under this video because I worked hard on making it, and I'll also try to create the next video with all the secrets, Easter eggs, getting new badges, and a review of the first floor. It's coming out really soon.